Mo's Mailbag, where we answer questions from the audience. If you have a question from me that you want me to answer for fantasy related, drop it in the chat and I'll answer it on the fly. And again, this is sponsored by Real Ones Productions. Don't want to miss it. Sponsored by R1P. Any more questions we have in this segment of Moon's Mailbag? Am I crazy to think it won't be as high scoring in fantasy this season compared to last season due to Matt Ryan being in Indy with JT? No, you're not crazy to think that. I've been trying to prepare people from this. It's the same conversation we have to have with some other teams out there. Denver Broncos. People are telling me that Cortland Sutton is going to finish as a wide receiver 1 this year. That means 1 through 12 in fantasy. They also banking on Jerry Jeudy to finish as a wide receiver 1, 2. And I push back on that and say, well, if they finish as a wide receiver 1 or 2, then what is Javonte Williams finishing at? They seem to be like Javonte is going to be the guy. I understand Melvin Gordon is going to be there. Yeah. But when he's on the field, Javonte is a dog. We understand that. He is a bowling ball that is hard to tackle. Last time I checked, Melvin Gordon don't got that type of juice in his knees. Still a good ball player, but he's not dragging defenders and just steamrolling people. Like, I'm talking, put your head down and just the addition of Russ, veteran quarterback, changing places, new face. Like, can two things be true at the same time? Like, their offense be so explosive in the AFC West where it supports Cortland Sutton being a top fantasy wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy being a top fantasy wide receiver, Albert O being a top tight end, and Javonte Williams finishing top 12 too. Then Nathaniel Hackett, he probably gonna get closer to the year then. I think that Michael Pittman is gonna frustrate some fantasy owners this year. And I think Jonathan Taylor is going to frustrate some fantasy owners this year with Matt Ryan being there because Matt Ryan is going to spread the ball around so much. They've already been talking about Nyheim Hines and how they want him to be more active. Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines situation is no different than Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. It's the same thing if you really look at it. 2 stud running backs. You can argue whether JT is just high and beyond Zeke or whatever, but 2 stud running backs in their system with players that's behind them, RB2s is behind them that are pushing for more snap percentage, pushing for higher utilization in their offense, pushing for more workload. Frank Reich was saying this last year, and we was frustrated with Frank Reich last year for the same thing. Like, bro, what are you doing? Why you got this man? We know Nyheim Hines is good. And then in the spurts, we couldn't really say much because Nyheim Hines was balling in the times that he got in. But they're utilizing him more? You're not crazy to think that. I'm not debating how talented JT is. I'm just debating that last year carried them to the finish line. We can talk about how they finished and everything in another episode. They relied on, with Matt Ryan having a stability and consistency at quarterback, that solves a lot of issues. Makes the ball be in different places. From Alec Pierce to Pittman to Paris Campbell, the tight ends that they have on their roster. I'm sure that they understand that this, like, they go... JT is a special talent and a special athlete, a special running back. We saw that all throughout the year last year. 1.01, it makes me have cause for pause.